Welcome to Creative Spirit Gathering, our Monday morning chance to get together for spiritual inspiration and creative expression in our art journals. So today is about celebration. It is about celebrating the new. It is about celebrating change. And we will be drawing, my large scale piece here, 2-page spread. We will be drawing from nature today as our inspiration. I love nature. I love being in the garden. I love hiking in nature and just being outside and feeling that connection. And so often when I'm doing that, I am inspired, for whether it's a Sunday sermon or a Monday morning journal class, nature is constantly inspiring me and reminding me of my own truths and my own strength. So today, do a little peekaboo with you. We will be drawing from nature, and in particular, the season of change right now. When, Saturday morning here in the Midwest, I'm in Missouri, for those of you not here with me, and we had like a high of 88. It was this beautiful sunny day. I went out to a local craft fair with my mask on, of course, and just had a beautiful, enjoying time out in nature, outside. Sunday, it's cloudy, started to rain, poured, the rain passed, I opened the windows back up, and it was so cold outside we had to close the windows back up within a matter of minutes because we were all shivering in the house. It dropped 20, 30 degrees from the day before. And so I know that fall is truly here. We just had the fall equinox last week, and the weather is proving its point with me as well. So for me, when I feel those temperatures dip so fast, one of the first things I think about is, how to nurture and protect my garden, what needs to happen, the things that are in pots. I have sort of a collection of pots that I bring in every year to keep them safe so they can overwinter inside, the things that just won't survive, the cold frost. Like my jasmine plants is one that I bring in every year. And then there's those new things, that you get to plant that will grow and thrive in these colder temperatures. So nature, again, just reminding me of that time for change, that season for looking at things a little bit differently. And as I was getting ready to think about, what plants to bring in to overwinter, I got a little yellow card in the mail from our local garden nursery. And in the nursery, little newsletter that they have that comes out, there was a whole section on, preparing for the fall, preparing for this new season. And it had this section specifically on, okay, we know that you're going to want to bring some of your plants in so they can overwinter indoors, because as human beings, we resist change. Now, this is a garden nursery brochure. As human beings, we resist change, but nature understands change. Nature doesn't resist, or, the trees don't go walk, from the cold to go find someplace warmer. They find ways to adapt. The leaves fall off and the tree brings all of its energy down to the roots to sustain and nourish it and to thrive even through the winter. So the leaves and the trees are working together to create this natural experience of preparing for this changing season. And here I am thinking, oh, I need to bring all the plants in to keep them safe. But in reality, it's part of nature, it's part of the cycle. And the same thing is true for our lives, right? When we look out and we think, whether it's even, just the idea of the temperatures are getting colder, so maybe I won't be going outside to do the same things that I was over the summer, right? I'm not going to go swimming right now. Maybe I'm not going to go head out in my kayak, but I can still find ways to thrive and to engage, but in different ways. And when we look at the larger scheme of life and all of these changes that are going on right now, right? It's not just about the temperature change, but there's so many changes happening. And we could, like I was thinking of doing, find ways to protect all of these ways of being that we've been experiencing, right? Our regular routines, our regular way of interacting with people, our regular careers. But maybe it's time to simply take a moment to breathe into what is, instead of resisting the changes that are happening, to celebrate them, to embrace them. You know, many cultures still today, and especially in the past, have celebrations around the changing seasons. They have celebrations around moving from the summer season into this fall season. And what they celebrate and honor is change, is something new, and they celebrate and honor this movement from the light into slightly darkening days. So we're celebrating the light, but also honoring the dark that's to come, and that time of winter that we know is coming, where that'll be that time of rest. So the fall is a great time for completing projects that we've started, for looking at what do we want to hold on to, and what are the things that we can let go of? What are some of those things that we can release? Just like the tree is going to release the leaves so that it can focus all of its energy within, focusing that energy inward. So as we move into our own journal reflections today, I'm going to invite you to think about what ways can you celebrate and honor these changes that are coming. Because for many of us, we already know they're coming whether we choose them or not. So let it be a celebration, let it be a joy to move into this time. What are the things that we can do to honor and celebrate that? My son and I actually created a little nature table on our coffee table in the living room over the weekend. And he chose stones and tree branches that we had collected while out on a walk, and let them represent sort of this time of change. And for him, he was thinking about, you know, how different trees have different characteristics and different elements. So we were kind of calling forward this awareness of these energies, that we can bring them forward into our own lives and honor and celebrate sort of the fall, the acorns. We have a little candle light on there too. So what could you do in your own space to create a welcoming space for this changing season? And then what can you create in your journal to create space for releasing things that don't necessarily serve you in this moment? Not to mean that they didn't bring amazing gifts to you in your life, but maybe right now isn't the time to focus on them. So some things that we could release. And then what are the things that we really want to focus on? What are those roots that we want to nourish? I know for me, that's my spiritual practice. That's creating more time to really sink into my prayer and meditation practice on a daily basis. That's my journal practice, whether it's a written journal or creative journal, to have that time for self-reflection, for being present. So as I'm thinking about things to release, those leaves to let go of, I'm thinking about then centering in on those roots. So what do those leaves look like for you? And what do those roots look like for you? As we explore in our journals, I invite you to think about exploring with the theme of nature, whether it's trees and leaves or changing season in some way. Consider it as an inspiration for your journal. So what I'll be using today in my journal is a cut paper collage. I have out some patterned papers, some drawing materials. In this case, I happen to have water-soluble wax pastels For those of you going, who the what now? This is the box that they come in. Imagine it reversed so you can actually read that, or, you know, use your power of imagination. Water-soluble wax pastels, so they actually kind of color like a crayon, but then you can paint over them and get sort of a watercolor effect. I have a glue stick and scissors to create some shapes out of my papers here. And I went ahead and pre-cut some leaf shapes. And so my thinking is I'm going to be using these leaves to write on the back side some things that I am ready to release in my life. And then after writing them down, glue them onto my journal, creating maybe just some abstract patterns, or maybe put them on a little tree and see what comes of that. So you might choose to do leaves or something else, whatever is calling to your heart today and seeking expression as you invite change, invite with celebration. With celebration. This whole month has been about the theme of embracing change. And it's time now to really embrace it, really celebrate change that's happening. So I'm going to lead us in a short meditation and then invite you into your journal time so that you can explore and reflect on what's coming up for you, what's in your heart today. So I invite you to become comfortable in your seat, or if you're lying down, to simply relax. Take a couple deep breaths if that feels comfortable to you. And then begin to bring your awareness to the inner space of being. Perhaps closing your outer eyes, resting your hands on your heart, or resting them in your lap if that feels comfortable. And begin to create space for stillness. In our lives, we're often so busy doing, thinking, being. But in this moment, we invite stillness. We invite peace. In this moment, we invite the awareness of divine love. And we simply breathe into the space, letting our bodies relax, letting our mind relax. And we take a moment now to enter into silence. Breathing in, breathing out, we welcome silence. And on the next breath, we begin to bring our awareness back to this moment in time. We give thanks for this opportunity to touch the silence, to touch that still point within ourselves. And we move now into A moment of awareness, bringing this depth of our being out onto the page, knowing and creating with divine wisdom as we invite and celebrate change, releasing what does not serve us in this time, moving forward, and focusing on our roots, focusing on the core of our being. And so it is. And as we open our eyes, I invite you to move into your journal process, remembering that you can make this process your own. Use whatever materials you're called to today and simply let the process unfold.